Hi and welcome back. My name's Jane if you've not been here before, and if you have followed me, thank you very much for coming along on this journey with me. Today we're going to talk a little bit, excuse me, I have my notebook, my trusty notebook, because you know your girl doesn't remember things very well. We're going to talk a bit about MS and heat, how heat can affect. As you can see behind me, it's a lovely sunny day here in the UK. We have been going through quite a substantial heat wave, which is lovely. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it. But not everybody with MS does. So we're just going to talk a little bit about how the heat affects people with MS. So I will be looking down and reading quite a bit, hence why I have my glasses on today. So a lot of people with MS do find that their symptoms get worse with the heat, and this could be from being outside in the sun or being on holiday in the sun, any form of exercise that gets your sort of core temperature up, even just having a hot bath. And it can, it's very unpleasant, but it can exacerbate, I think that's the correct word, MS symptoms in, I think it's 60 to 80% of people with MS have this sensitivity to heat. And it's also known, I will put this on the screen because I'm going to pronounce it totally wrong, Uthof's phenomenon. I will, as I say, it'll be on the screen there for you. And as I said, yeah, 60 to 80% of people with MS get this heat sensitivity. It's temporary, so once you've managed to cool down, it will go away, but it doesn't make it any easier to go through, and the majority of people like to go somewhere hot and sunny, which can be a bit of a problem if you've got MS. Not impossible, and it doesn't affect everyone. And it can be as little as raising your core temperature by literally like half a degree, and it can create this, trigger these issues. It doesn't create new symptoms, so which is good news. It aggravates existing symptoms that you've got. So if you suffer from brain fog, it can make brain fog worse. If it's fatigue, it can make your fatigue worse. Numbness, it can make your numbness worse. You get the point. Now we'll do a little bit of science bit. This I will have to read. I'm not a scientist. I've got this off the MS website. So heat or cold can affect your nerves and how they function. So in turn, that can make it harder for messages, that should be with two hands, messages being sent to your nerves and through your nerves. And with MS, or when you have MS, what's known as the myelin sheath or the myelin coating on your nerves, your spine, is damaged by basically your white blood cells attacking it. And when the myelin coating is damaged, basically the myelin coating, myelin sheath protects your nerves, as well as shielding them from extremes of temperature or temperature changes, so hot and cold. And obviously when they're damaged, that's not going to work anywhere near as well. I think you get the gist of where that's going. I have been one of the lucky ones, the majority of my nearly 30 years with MS, that extremes of temperature haven't affected me. I've been fine in the hot, I've been fine in the cold. I'm going to say until recently, this year, my brain fog has been worsened in the heat. I don't always have brain fog, but I happen to have brain fog these last couple of months, and we've had this intense heat, and it seems to have aggravated it, made it a bit worse in the heat. So that's a kind of new one for me because it's not happened before. But it is what it is. I tend to look on the funny side that it means I can rewatch films that I've already seen because I can't remember them and things like that. So I look on the positive of it. Research with MS is constantly ongoing, constantly evolving and finding out new things. And there is a lot of research going into this temperature, heat and cold thing. There's potential evidence that people with MS can't regulate their body temperatures the same as your average person or your person without MS, which in turn means potentially when we get hot, our core temperature goes up quicker than it would in someone without MS. So that's something that scientists have, I suppose, recently discovered, and they're looking now into why this could possibly be. And I believe I've read about there's an Australian team that are researching new ways to keep cool during exercise. So that'll be really helpful with a lot of people. So, they're coming up with new things, new ways all the time to help with this. As I said, I've only really gone into the heat side of it. If you have anything to add or any of your own queries, questions, or what you've experienced, please pop it down in the comments. And we will at another time look at the effects of cold. I haven't looked into that because, as I said, it's not something I've experienced, so I haven't felt the need. Oh, I can't even see myself. I've gone very blurry there. I'll keep them on. I haven't felt the need to sort of do any research into that, but I will look into the cold. I have a feeling it's going to be very similar to the heat side. I'm guessing it is just what you would class as extremes of temperature that our body can't deal with as well, or our body likes to be a drama queen about. Again, I'm not making light. Why would I have this disease? It's just the way I choose to cope. I am also going through, as I've mentioned previously, perimenopause. So I have the addition of extra hot flushes, which is obviously fun. I didn't post last week, my reasoning being I just haven't been feeling very well. But I had my disease modifying drug I take on a Wednesday. It's currently Friday, and I take it by self-injection once a fortnight. It's a drug called Plegridy. Again, I will put that on the screen for the spelling. And most of the time it just gives me mild flu-like symptoms for 24, 48 hours and always a headache. But when I had it on Wednesday, that evening, I suffered from I went really cold. I was sat, and it was not cold by any means, but I was sat wrapped up, fully dressed, wrapped up in a blanket, and I was sweating, but I felt cold. Then I was fine yesterday, and I thought, excellent, over and done with, brilliant. And then last night I had it again, but even worse. So I actually ended up going to bed. I think I slept for an hour and a half on the sofa, and then I woke up and I went straight to bed at about 9:15 at night, which is, no, that's not what I do. So, but again, I'm feeling great again today. So, it doesn't happen all the time. It's quite rare that I feel really unwell. As I said, I usually get sort of mild flu-like symptoms and a nasty headache. But I've had a particularly unpleasant experience this week. And last week I was just really struggling with the pain that I'm in. That's why I apologise I didn't post last week, but hopefully this learning a little bit more about extremes of temperature and MS will be informative for you all. And I've also been informed by my friend Mark that he has started purchasing podcast equipment. So watch this space, and I will let you all know if and when, we're going to be positive and manifesting here, when we get the podcast up and going. And we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.